Okay, let's try a little completing the square, getting it in vertex form, and identifying the vertex. So to do this, we are going to want to complete the square. So remember, on the right side, we're going to take our b divided by 2 and square that value. And if we do that on the right, we've got to do that on the left. So that's the value we're going to have to figure out right there by doing that computation. So let's give this a shot. Remember, what you do on the right, though, you got to add on the left. So my b value is -8. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's -8, and then we divide that by 2, and we square it. So we get -4 squared. 16 will be what we add to each side. So I'm going to go y plus 16 equals x squared minus 8x plus 16, and then don't forget to add the original plus 11. So let me focus on this trinomial that I just helped make there by adding 16, because when we look for numbers that multiply to 16 and add to -8, we get the same two factors that do that, -4 and -4, which means, again, that we could factor this green underlined trinomial as x minus 4 times x minus 4. Well, that really just means x minus 4 squared. So I'm going to replace what I underlined in green with x minus 4 squared. I'm going to bring down the plus 11. And now I need to solve for y to get this into vertex form. I need to have y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 16 off, and I'll subtract 16 on the right from that constant over there, that 11. So I've got x minus 4, quantity squared, minus 5. So now this is in vertex form. When we were graphing this, the first thing that we would do if we had a function that was in vertex form is identify the vertex. And so the vertex here is going to be at +4, -5. Number 2, same idea. We'll complete the square here. And so we'll take -16 divided by 2 and then square it. So we get -8 squared. That's going to equal 64. So we're going to add 64 to each side. And on the right side, or the side with the squared term, I'm going to add the 64 right after the second term. So I'm going to make it the third term, and then I've still got this plus 2. So here is my trinomial that I can factor and write it as a perfect square. So I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 64 and add to -16. So it'll be -8 and -8, which means that this trinomial can be factored into x minus 8 squared. And maybe you're like, well, hey, we could just subtract 64 right now. You can. I'm just doing it in 2 steps. So I get y equals x minus 8 squared minus 62. So remember, our x squared, or our x term of the vertex, is the opposite of what's being done to the x there. So it's a +8, and our y is literally what's right after the squared term, or the squared binomial in this case. So that's a -62. Bada bing, bada boom.